Hello, all the kings, man. Welcome to another episode of the Friday Assessment. You know, it is so important to know that you have to assess your life. So look, I'm coming back again this week. Yes, I come back on a weekly basis to encourage you. I'm encouraging you. Why? Because you are greater than what you give yourself credit for. Yes, I'm telling you that. I know you may feel broke, busted, and disgusted right now. Nothing didn't go your way, but I'm here to tell you there is greater on the inside of you. Why? Because you may be facing some adversity right now. You may be facing adversity on your job, in your family, or just life itself. You may not be where you want to be right now, but know that you are where God wants you to be right now. So what I want to talk to you about today is character. Character is something so important that we must have right now. Character is something that is built especially when nobody is looking. Character. When you think about character, it is something that's very distinct that's about you. There's a feature that's about you. It's not a physical thing, but it's something that's unseen. But you know what? When you start to assess, that's something that you have to look at, your character. My God. Is your character something that's causing you to fail? Is your character something that's causing a conflict? Is it causing a battle? Is it a war that's raging on inside of you? Well, then you need to go and check yourself, because if you are all the king's men, then you are a child of God. You are a man of God. That's what all the king's men is about. It's about pulling the greater that's inside of you out. Why? Because you got to speak better of yourself. You got the desire better of yourself. Look, this is something that I live by, and it is, I'm not competing with nobody else. I'm competing with who I am supposed to become. Yes, that's where that character comes in at. Why? Because when you do that, there are no shortcuts. When you're competing with who you are supposed to become, then there are no shortcuts. Why? Because you're cheating yourself. Yes, you are cheating yourself. That's what's wrong right now in the Friday assessment. You have been trying to cheat the system. You have been trying to take shortcuts. Understand that shortcuts is not the way. Shortcuts is not the way to take. Shortcuts, that thing, it's only a temporary satisfaction. Why? Because it will not last. Is when you get in there and you grind and do the work that you actually can truly enjoy the success. Why? Because you can celebrate the small wins. Yeah, you remember we talked about the small wins when you're on a journey, when you're trying to get somewhere to a goal. You have to celebrate the small wins. That was a place that I struggled with. And I try to take my time even now to say, you know what, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be, so that I can celebrate the small wins. Why? Because you will get so caught up in the grind, and you will lose that. You will lose every motivation that you have, because you'll forget about the why. Yes, you'll forget about the why. Those small wins that keep you focused on the why. My God, while the whole time that you're building your character. Why? Because you're working your way to become the man that God has already called you to be. That's why it's so important to assess our lives, especially as men. Why? Because there is so much thrown at us. We are being bombarded that, oh, we got to be this macho man. We got to have this. We think that our materials, the things that we have, actually define us. No, it's not. It's your character that defines you. It's your character that actually defines you. You know why? Because that is going to go before you. And what happens? Somebody gonna know your name, and all you gotta do is call your name. Say it's your family name. If your family name is being known for something, then they're gonna expect you to be the same way. That's why character is so important. That if your character is well known, and it's in high standard and high regard, and you hold yourself in high regard, then others are gonna know you by your character. So your name, when it goes out there, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you talking about him? Oh yeah, you can best bet that he's gonna come through. He's gonna come through with the best. He is the best. You're not gonna get anything better than him or anyone better than him. That's what you want to do about your name. You want to have a good name. That's why it's so important to assess. So what that you failed? Your character says, no, I'm greater than that. I'm better than that. So you know what? I am getting up today. I'm dusting myself off. No more will I go around and I hang out in this self-pity place. Give yourself 5 to 10 seconds. Say, okay, yeah, I failed. Now what I need to do to get back up and succeed? What do I need to do to dust myself off and get back on the road to success? Get back on the road to where I was going. Okay, yeah, that was a failure. That's why I say you got to celebrate the wins. That's why it's so important that you can recognize the good and the bad, because you know what, in life we have to accept the good and the bad. We got to live with the good and the bad. It's gonna happen. It's the lows that we can appreciate the highs. My God, we can appreciate the wins. So when you do feel low, know that your strength is in God. Philippians 4:13. It's a very simple verse. I can do all things through Christ that strengtheneth me. That verse means that Christ continually strengthens you. It's in your weakness that you are strengthened. So look, don't be afraid to assess. It is so important for who you are to become. It's so important that you celebrate your small wins, that you could keep your eyes on the why. It's so important to keep your eyes on the why so that you can continue to build your character. So I'm here to tell you, all the King's men, I encourage you to assess where you are. Assess, let's celebrate, let's get up off the pity party, and let's continue to build. All the King's men, I wish you all the best. Be blessed.